Hey, this is Brent. Hey, just wanted to go over something that I saw this morning. One of the first articles I read this morning on CNBC is talking about how rents are going up again at one of the fastest paces that we've ever seen, raising an additional 2% recently. So, it just always strikes me that rents are so expensive in Southern California. I live in Rancho Cucamonga. There's apartments here for coming up close to $3,000 a month just to rent. And I think that it's just important for people to understand that buying a house is going to be such an important part of the financial plan of people long term. That is where most people grow their assets over their lifetime, is in the equity in their home. I read a book at one point that says most millionaires in the United States made their money by buying a home and then buying another home and not selling the previous home. Over time, accumulating houses and ultimately having the equity that they need. Sometimes they retire early, or maybe that's their total retirement plan. That and 401k type retirement plans are really where people make money. It's not really very feasible to think that you're just going to save money and put it into a savings account each month, and that you're going to save enough to be able to really amass the wealth that you need to be able to retire at one point. So that's where owning a home is just so important. And when I see people renting for $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month, and I think the biggest thing is it's not understanding that buying a house is not as difficult as most people think. There's still a lot of people that think you need 20% down to buy a house, and that's just not even true. That's not even close. There's options at some points for people to buy houses with nothing down. I mean, that's out there, not all the time, but it's something that we need to look at. 3% down, 3.5% down. There's FHA, there's down payment assistance programs. There's a lot of different ways to get into houses. And what you really need to do, if you don't own a home now, you're of the age that you should be looking at buying a home, it's always a good time to buy real estate. You've got to worry about interest rates rising. You've got to worry about house prices rising and the inverse effect of those things. So it's just a good time to take a look and see, even if you're not going to buy today, starting to make a plan for what it's going to look like to buy in the future. So rather than continuing to watch the rents rise and continue to see your rent go up over time, let's talk about how we can make a plan to where the expense you have for where you live does not really go up again at all. I mean, there's ways to fix the cost of your housing and not have to go up with that rising tide of rents that happens when you experience things like this, the rising economy. So give me a call, shoot me a message, a Facebook message, just touch bases with me somehow. We can talk about it over the phone, schedule a time to come in and look at some numbers to see what might make sense for you. But really, I mean, if you don't own a home right now, you owe it to yourself to find out what it looks like to get into a house with somebody who's going to tell you more than either you qualify or you don't. Let's talk about a plan for how we can use real estate and financing of real estate to better yourselves over time. So, like I say, reach out when you can. Thank you.